Hey, Jaglones. I think there's a couple people here already. It doesn't show any of you yet up there. I pointed to the right side. Only been doing this like 3.5 years. So, guys, tonight, after much deliberation and much confusion and much misunderstanding, we have a topic. We have a guest, Ryan Marshall from Marshall Exotics or Marshall Arachnids. I'm looking at all these business cards on my people to contact, and Exotic Empire or Empire Exotics was on the top there for my other Josh friend. Anyway, yeah, Marshall Arachnids, that's them. You might know them from a couple other projects like Spiders After Sunset, Social, and their new channel where they're talking all kinds of cool spider stuff, him and Jess. But tonight we are going to talk about specifically breeding projects, like starting breeding projects specifically to keep wild populations from being caught, and how one might be able to organize that specifically for that, obviously for sale as well, but to kind of keep people from supporting depleting wild populations. We talked about wild caught stuff like last time we were on 2 weeks ago. Justin's here. Nice. Talk about buttered sausage. I think they make that soda that I'm going to try to get. Justin, I have a cool treat for you to try tonight at home. But yeah, we're going to talk about that. Specifically, we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about it with Ogre's Face Spiders, the netcasters that I think there's the coolest, one of the coolest adaptations I've ever seen / heard of. So literally insects using tools. So that they make from their butts. I guess arachnids. I don't want to call them insects and be so dumb. But we are going to talk about that and that. So I was very confused. I thought that Ryan was trying to breed them to re-release them in the wild, which isn't a thing. We might touch on that too. Because I always thought that was a bad idea, especially even with native-born populations. But let's see what we got. So we're going to learn tonight as we go. Okay? All right, let's bring him to the stage. Ryan, my good buddy.
Hi, guys.
Morph Market hat. What's on your hoodie, bud?
Oh, shout out Hardwired Exotics. I have
nice.
Yeah, he's got some cool swag. I have a reticulated python from him. So shout out to Tony Thomas.
More animals.
More animals. Yeah.
I had go ahead.
I just want to apologize for the can sound for everybody. I had mic problems, of course, right before the show started, so now I sound like I'm in a tin can. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, I mean, on your show, you have good mic. You're not in your ears. You know, Jess is there. My show, I get it, man. You don't have to show up for my show, 100%.
This is not a B. This is not a B team thing. This is just just what happened. Okay.
We're just glad to have you. We're just
I'm on time. I'm on time. Okay.
Hey, you showed up. You showed up this time.
Here I am.
We're good. So things happen.
Yeah.
Everyone who is in the audience right now knows enough to know that every one of my guests has tech issues.
Yeah.
So, what do we got here? Yeah, no excuses, Ryan. That's from Moon. So Moon's a professional too. So what do we got? Wally. We got Moon. Wally took some time out from his 12 SDOC. Yeah.
Wally, you're killing it, by the way, man. Justin and I have been tuning in. Love it.
It's looking good. It's looking good. Yep. And he knows that I'm J-Dubs. Oh, it's on my thing. Never mind. That was my name for like 7 years. So in Naperville, if I go to Naperville, there's a very real chance someone will yell J-Dubs at me from a restaurant door.
I like it.
Before we go further, I know I have so much dumb stuff to get out of the way on this show. So tonight we have a Southern specialty. Oh, this smells. It's strong. So this is Dr. Pepper. Okay, I only poured a little because I'm gonna drink whatever goes into this cup. Whatever goes into this cup is going in my guts. But I can finish it and then just have regular Dr. Pepper. This is a coffee mate creamer made just for dirty soda. So this is a Southern thing. I didn't get a chance to Google it. I was going to Google it and you popped in. So we're going to mix. Then we're going to have a taste. So this is coconut lime added to the 23 existing flavors in Dr. Pepper. Okay, we're going to do about a quarter.
I don't know why you do this to yourself.
Actually, I got high hopes for this. This is really popular. And I like a like a black cow kind of a thing. Dr. Pepper in a float with vanilla ice
Mm,
cream is delicious, but
okay.
this is coconut and lime. I don't know, man.
I mean, I don't know. You okay. Good luck.
When I started this, it wasn't horrible, and it morphed into this horrible thing. All right, here we
Hmm.
go. It's weird. I'm not gonna lie, it's weird.
I've seen that color and consistency in chemistry class before, and
It's it's kind of like a melted milkshake, is the color and consistency.
yeah,
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's gonna take a little bit to get used to. The coconut is what's
yeah,
giving me a problem. I thought it would be the lime. It's the coconut.
yeah.
It
It's a
didn't curdle. No, because it's chemical milk. It's not real milk.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Artificial milk.
yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep stirring it. So
All right.
yeah, this is actually a treat. I'm excited for this. That's crested gecko diet. I'm going to give an update on my guys back here. Speaking of, I'm breeding. I don't know if you know,
Hmm.
for so we don't deplete the wild. I'm breeding mourning geckos in
Oh,
here.
good.
Okay,
Awesome. Okay.
right here is one of the girls. She is right behind the background.
Nice.
There's a little bit of a gap, and of course, that's where she is. So we have two confirmed. They found their own. I built them 11 little. They're stuck to the glass. They're basically hides, so I can
Hmm.
see in the hides. I can
That's
see
cool.
in all the hides. Modern,
Yeah.
they don't use them at all. So
Nice.
I've never seen one in.
Hmm.
We're gonna put that tank on a turntable, so I can
Ah,
literally
cool.
spin it, scratch and mix.
Nice.
Um, anyway, so you started telling a story about how this started. So you are involved in and it's something a lot of breeders I think are kind of technically involved in. They're breeding them so partly so we don't deplete wild
Yeah.
caught populations.
Yep.
So it's not an uncommon thing, but this
No.
seems you're a guy who's very organized. So I'm sure this is an organized project,
Sort of.
more than average.
Thank goodness Jess is here. Yeah. She keeps it organized. I just had the idea. She's
I would love to talk to her about some of these things sometime, but
I'm telling you. I'm
you
telling
know
you.
how it is. You know
You know
how it
what we'll
is.
do? We'll bring you on our show. That way she has no choice but to talk to you about one of your topics. You can pick the topic and she has to sit here because she's
That's awesome.
a fan
Because
of
at shows, when I go to shows and see you guys, I talk to Jess most of the time.
yeah, which I love
So
that. That's
it
great.
just happens. It just
It,
happens. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Anyway, poor Jess. She had to listen to me talk about the dumbest things last time.
She would
I
talk to you
walked
for all
away.
day. I know
I
she
walked
would.
away like Chris Farley. I was like, stupid, stupid. Why did you
Yeah.
say that? Um, but yeah. So specifically in this instance, I wanted to talk about the ogre-faced spiders
Yes.
that you know the Latin for, but these are some of my favorite spiders of all time.
Same.
And that's saying a lot. I have a million spiders that I think are awesome. There's
There
so
are
many
a
wild
lot of
adaptations.
yeah,
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 so many adaptations in spiders.
yeah.
And a lot of them are like behavioral adaptations more than
Yeah, they're
I mean
incredible.
they're
Like
hand in hand, but these are behavioral things.
yeah, nature's little engineers. Perfect little engineers. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I've never heard that phrase and I'm using it from now on.
What they are, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did this specific project start and how big is it?
Yes. So it's very small. It's
It's you. It's
it's
you.
me. It is actually only us. I mean,
Okay.
there is another player who wants to remain anonymous, so I'm not going to say their name. But there's one other player, and it's us. And that was the way I wanted it. I don't want to put all my
Okay.
eggs in one basket, but you keeping it down?
Yeah. I'm gonna add more Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
I'm
good.
gonna add more Dr. Pepper. I'm trying to
Yeah,
figure it out. I'm just trying to figure it out. It's not a
yeah.
look of concern. It's a look of like, what am I doing?
What
What
am
is
I doing
this?
to myself? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So the ogre face. Yep. So I initially was fascinated with the species when I saw them. I never saw them. I never even heard of them, but I saw them for the first time in the wild. A different species. I think I saw wasn't Spinosa. I don't know what I saw, but I saw a Deinopus species in Honduras, and
Yeah.
I was fascinated with it. It was incredible. I wish I could pull up that picture, but come to find out, after talking to a certain importer, there's a species from Cameroon that comes in that's actually very hardy, does very well in captivity. They're easy to reproduce. They don't need a whole lot of space, and you can replicate their mechanism of hunting prey very easily, which is casting the net. That's how they eat. They don't eat without casting that net. So,
So these
I-
guys, let's touch on that real quick,
yep,
like so people know what we're talking about. So it looks
yep,
like everybody here does, but folks that aren't watching
yes.
or aren't here currently.
Yeah. So in the future, yep. So there is a whole family of spiders called net casting spiders, or also referred to as ogre face spiders. Um, uh, Formerly Dinopus. Now I think they've kind of spread out, but I still call them Dinopus because that means frightful appearance, and to me that's perfect for what they are.
They are scary
Um,
looking. Yeah,
yeah. So they have forward-facing eyes, and what these two eyes do, they have more than two eyes, but the two forward-facing eyes on the
massive.
front of the face, they're very large. They look like this,
Yeah,
and each night they build a membrane in that eye. They build it and then tear it down when the sun starts to come back up. But they build it, and that helps them see tertiary prey items. So
wait,
they
wait. They
use
build what in their eye?
a
What?
little membrane, like a photosensitive membrane, to help them collect like photons or light, light.
So every day they get one of these, and then it.
Yep. As soon as the sun starts to set, you can literally watch them. It's incredible. But they like take this stance and they point toward the ground and they stay very still. It's like an automated like trance-like state, and that's what they're doing is they're building up that membrane. And then once the membrane is built, they snap into action. They will go down. They start making their I don't know what you'd call it, but it's basically like a base, and then they build this net and they hold the net. You can see them, they kind of like test it, they stretch it out, they kind of do all these little like fancy systems checks with this net, and then they wait for a prey item.
It's like choreography. It's so
It is.
cool.
It's
Rod
incredible.
called it a. I think it was Rod called it a cat's cradle.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that is their mechanism of hunting prey items. So that's what a netcaster is.
Okay.
Yep, there's a whole bunch of different species all over the world. There's even some native to the United States. I believe we have Dinopus spinosa, which is native to the southern states, but they don't do very well in captivity. So
Okay.
that's why we stick with this African species. And they're small. They're not very big. Where am I at? Right here. So, I mean, that's a big female. So
That's a
relatively
decent sized
small.
spider. That's a decent sized spider.
Yeah. But we keep our breeders in 8x8x12s, and that's plenty of space for them to facilitate all the things they need to do throughout their life. So relatively small compared to a tarantula.
Sure, sure.
Yep. So I few years ago got this species, got a handful of them, and we were successful at reproducing them. But come to find out, they don't live very long. So it was kind of a dead end project. We made babies, but then when it came time to like keep going and breed the next generation, there were no animals left in captivity to pair mature females with, right? So like the males had matured out and died, and then the females had not reached maturity, and now we're stuck. And I think routinely in like the history of importing the species, that's been the story. That's why you keep seeing like import after import after import. It's like, oh, we need more, we need more, we need more, we need more.
So you got to
And
kind of stagger it. You got to have 2 clutches or 3
exactly.
clutches, and
Like 3 generations to like work with.
okay,
And what happens is these animals come in, they go to their distributors, and then they go to whoever. So they're just literally cast to the wind, and there's no like coordinated effort to keep it going, right?
okay, yeah.
Yep. So then, fast forward up until this year, I got a call. Individual said, "Hey, I need one of these for a particular reason, but I have to order 100 of them. Do you want all of them?" And I said, "Yes. Give me all of them. Don't give them to anybody else. I will pay you whatever you want. They all need to come to me," and he knew that, and he's like, that is what needs to happen. Is someone needs to focus. Otherwise, it's just this cycle is going to continue. So I said,
Yeah.
"Yep, I'm your guy. Sign me up." Now the animals come in. It's a mess. So, and that's the other reason, like importing animals from other countries is always so messy, especially like if it's not Europe, if it's not like established captive bred populations of like tarantulas that are like they come here and they have the same shipping standards and practices that we do. It's just a mess. Okay, so it was a mess. This time was kind of a disaster, and I did not get 100 animals. I'm going to leave it at that. I got less than half of that.
I got 7. I got 7 spiders.
I didn't get very many. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, but that's okay. We got enough to get started, I think. I hope.
Okay.
I have to, every step of the way has to be absolutely perfect. So, but they're here. And they're so popular. I mean, this species, we get messages weekly. When are you gonna have them? When are you gonna have them? When are you gonna have them? We've gotten them ever since we've had them years ago. Like every week we get messages, so it just makes sense. Like there's obviously the demand there. They're fascinating little spiders, but we just need to get our ducks in a row. So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
yep. So and I forgot, we called this Project Safety Net. We have a whole thing going, and once we have babies going, I'm gonna make it kind of like a package where it's like you get some artwork and you get a baby and you get a little certificate and you get a shirt, you get all this cool stuff, because I want people to be excited about this. And so that's the plan. It was my little project, my little freak fascination, but I think there's still enough demand for this. You know what I mean? This just
Yeah.
makes sense to do because people really like them.
Brad
And
likes the pun. I like that name for it too. I'm a naming guy. You know this. I love to name things. No
you are good at
notes.
it. You
That's
are good
just
at it.
chef's
Yeah,
kiss. That's
I thought you would like
beautiful.
that.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
safety net is beautiful.
Yep. So that's where we're at. So we've got the animals that we have. I'll leave it at that. Not very many.
Okay.
But I'm proud to report that we have a total right now, I think as of yesterday, 12. We have 12 sacks, 12 egg sacks. So we're going.
Zach. Okay.
We don't. Yeah. So we can't obviously confirm that all of these things are fertile.
Okay.
But usually they are. When they come in from wild caught females, they lay. We have a mature male that we're cycling through females now, and he's been pairing with the females, so we're at it. It's like we hit the ground running, and we're seeing all the things we want to see. So that's where we're at with that.
That's good. So then do you have some that are coming up? Like what's the next? Because if all these egg sacs hatch at the same time, you're back to square one, right? It's like a dud of a project.
I've got 2. I've got one younger female, so that has to be perfect, and I have one much younger immature male. So I wanted 50 of these things.
Yeah.
Smaller animals.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got 2. So I have to.
That's less than half.
I have to nail this. Yeah. I have 2.
I wanted 50. I have 2. And
Yeah.
needing everything to go perfect is totally a plan for success. That's like you
Mhm.
nailed it. That's how people get success when there's no
Yeah.
room for error.
Yeah.
And you're counting on other organisms to do their job that you can't explain to them. Like,
They
all
have
right,
to like each other. Yeah.
you guys
Am I-
need to bang, or we're gonna keep shipping your friends over here
Yeah.
in crappy boxes.
Don't make me do that. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and the guy said, he's like, that was the last time. So this is it. Like, unless someone else wants to pick up this torch, which I'm telling you, like, please don't.
Yeah.
As much as
Yeah.
I would love to have more of these animals, like, I'm telling you, it's such a mess. It's a disaster. Like, unless they're getting captive bred animals from somewhere else, like, don't. Just stop.
Yeah.
You know?
And I've heard a lot of these stories from people like, like side stories kind of thing. I
Yeah.
haven't really talked about where they had a breeding project and it was important to keep those species from getting just snatched out of the wild all the time.
Yeah.
I think the last one we talked about was a Bronya, not with you, but
So
the Mexican lizard.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Perfect.
because they just can go pluck them off trees. Like they're super easy to catch,
Yep.
and they're super cool. Like I want them.
Same.
But I want the emerald green ones. You know what? I don't want the like aqua blue ones. They're cool, but
Yeah.
I want the green ones. They're so green, but for whatever we do to them, you can't get that apparently.
Correct. Yeah.
In
Something
captive
that
bred
I'm
species.
assuming dietary, but
It's got to be something. Got to be something they're eating. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's ants. I'm going to keep them eating ants.
could be ants. Yeah.
Morning geckos eat ants. I don't know if you know that. They eat ants.
Oh, I'm not
So,
surprised. But yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I had some of my escapees that I thought I had taken care of.
Yeah.
I hadn't. They were still loose, so they tried to make a home in here, and I was watching them get eaten. I was very excited to see that, so I let them stay. There's like 25, or there were 25. I haven't seen one in a while. So they need a small space. So these guys aren't taking up a ton of space.
No,
But it
like
sounds like they,
yeah.
yeah, and they 100% need like a light cycle. a day cycle, whatever.
So I think that's the biggest hurdle, and I've got some work to do before like any of these babies that I raise up and send to other people. Like I need to have a catalog of like videos, and like I need to show them the importance. Like your lights need to turn off and they need to stay off, and then
Yeah,
you don't just like boom, lights come on in the morning, because that can be damaging. So
yeah,
we're very conscious of this. Like even the light in this room right now is kind of a bit much, so like you have to cover them up.
okay.
So that's something I have to like really hit home to people. Like, look, they're not complicated at all, but you do have to be mindful of that, because a lot of people say tarantulas or spiders are photosensitive, which is completely garbage. But like these animals, in a sense, are photosensitive. So that doesn't mean like keep them in the dark, because that's not right. But they are
Yeah,
sensitive to light. So yeah,
yeah. They probably have to get rid of that, or like that membrane is made to calibrate every day. So
yeah. I mean, it's to see like
yeah,
perfectly in the dark jungle. So yeah, very
that's so
important.
crazy. I've
It
only
is
seen
hard.
them in. Well, I saw them at your show, at a show you did. I saw the tiny little babies in the cups.
Yep.
And was like,
Yep.
I don't know how I got confused. I left there thinking that's as big as they get. And that all the photos I had seen were just macro,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
super macroed out. But these are like the babies are like smaller than my pinky nail. Like you could fit probably 2 or 3 of them on my pinky nail.
Yeah. They're
They
eating
were
springtails.
tiny.
They're eating springtails when
Yeah,
they're born. Yeah,
they
but
were like hard to see.
yeah, yeah, but they grow exponentially. Like with each molt, it's like boom, 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 boom. So and they grow very fast. So
Yeah, so that I was very confused. So don't think that they're tiny, guys. They're not that tiny.
no, they're not.
And it would be a lot of fun to watch adults eat. So if you
I
could
can't
video
get enough
that,
of it. Yeah, I can't get enough of it. Yeah, if you go on our Facebook page, I've got plenty of video of them like calibrating their net and tossing their net at roaches, and like just I could
okay,
take you
cool.
over there. Yeah, but when I film them, like it's unfortunate, but I have to use a red light just to
Yeah,
disturb that membrane. So like everything I film is like red. It looks like a
they're
corn
not
or something, but
they're not colorful spiders anyway. You're not missing
no,
anything.
they're really not. Yeah,
So they're basically gray and you know gray
yeah,
tone, right?
they're grayish brown. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot going on. I have a couple of ornate looking ones, which is really interesting to see if they'll pass that on. And I've got some striped ones too, just
Okay.
natural variation. But yeah, there's not much. The color is not the cool thing about them for sure. They look
Now
like blend right into leaf litter, like dead leaves. So
that's what they're supposed to do. That's perfect.
yep,
So what do you want? Are you here to attack me again? We have a Siamese kitten that showed up. She's wild caught.
nice.
Or he's wild caught. He still needs to be fixed. So he's a pistol. Let's put
I
it that
bet.
way. He
Yeah.
straight up attacked me on Podsgiving. Like he was just in my lap, hanging out, and then just
What's
all of a
up,
sudden
Dad?
just mauled. Oh hey, Kyle's here. What are you doing
Kyle,
in
what up, man?
Florida? I don't know if he's on vacation or if he
In
moved there.
Ocala, they're sitting a lot warmer than we are. Probably not much warmer, but warmer than we are right now.
Kyle's got a lot of animals. So I call his house the Sterling Zoo.
Nice.
His parents have let him like take the basement
Oh,
for everything he gets a whim to have, and it's a lot of rescue stuff, a lot of abandoned stuff. So he's the one I first saw Bronya at his house.
oh, cool.
I hope I'm saying that right. Am I saying that right?
Abronia. Yep.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
I like being on a show. I like having a guest that knows all the random crap that I'm going to talk about
A little bit.
and know more about it than I know, because that's my thing. Is just like an ADD kid with
Yeah.
Animal Planet and Discovery Channel back when it was worth watching.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's cold here. Is it cold there? I saw your show the other day.
Dude, it is cold. It's cold here. Yeah. It's there's actually a light dusting of snow on the ground right now, and it's about 22 degrees. Not very nice.
Yeah, it's like 15 today. It was that was the high today in Illinois or Joliet, Illinois. So northern, I guess, northish.
Northish, yeah.
Not good. So yeah, my animals are staying by their heat lamps. They're
Same.
all their heat sources. They're just staying there.
I know.
Yeah, you have to be feeling the same thing. Do your guys basically go into brumation then, or your spiders kind of just keep them warm?
No, that we're really spending some electricity trying to keep everything warm. But they, everything warms up during the day, so they all have access to sit under their lamps and warm up. So they're okay. But
yeah.
Our Facebook, I'm looking at comments here. You can just go to Marshall Arachnids on Facebook, and then just scroll through the little catalog there. I got to do a safety net update. I've been really bad. Most people that are following the project have no idea how many egg sacs we have right now. I've been really bad about that.
This was another exposure, like expose right here.
Mm-hmm.
Nice,
Mm-hmm.
nice. I love that. I love that. So it's 12, you guys. You heard it here first.
Yeah,
We're
we've
getting
got
the info out.
at least a dozen. Yeah.
Oh, at
So,
least a dozen. All right, you're keeping your info tight-lipped. So
well, the problem is they're little egg laying machines. Like they've been eating, they've been feeding, and now they're like comfortable. So they're just like rapid fire, like go go go. Like they're their whole purpose is like hurry up and breed. Like because they don't have a long lifespan. So it's just like I can't
what's
keep
the
up with it.
lifespan like then? What is, because males you said is decidedly shorter than
Yeah,
females.
year and a half for males, 2 years or so for females.
Oh, I thought that I thought you were talking about way shorter, like a year for females and like 8 months for males or something.
No, it's still it's longer than that, but still relatively short. And the problem is right now I'm working with like most all wild caught animals. I don't know how old they are, so
Right. They could die next week of old age.
Yes.
So,
I know.
That could have been what happened to like 10% of them on the way down, is just die of old age.
Yeah, I've already lost a couple to what I'm assuming can only be old age because they were big females. So it's like TikTok, So yeah.
So we're talking, these numbers are stacked. So let's try to get some better numbers here. So you had, let's say 25 animals total. You haven't said, that's fine.
That's that's actually pretty
close.
Yeah.
So let's say 25 animals. So a quarter of what you were expecting, basically. Yep. I mean, you were expecting 99, right? So
over 100.
Yeah. Are you expecting over 100?
Yeah.
Okay. So these people, they ship extra too, right? Is that the thing?
Yeah.
Generally. Okay.
Generally.
So let's say you're expecting 100. Okay, round number. You get 25. You're already down 75% of your project. They're all different ages, mostly, but there's no like babies, right? They're all like juveniles or.
I had one like little male. It wasn't. I wouldn't call him a baby. I would call him a juvenile. I still have him. Yeah, his name is Rudy because he's our MVP.
he's the guy. He's the guy knocking it out.
Yeah. Nice. Well, he's gonna save the day. He's gonna be that offset for the generation.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Rudy, that's a great name. That's a great name. Coming out of the back. Rudy. Okay, so who's the one you said? Did you say there's like one male knocking it out with all the adult females now?
Yep, I had one mature fairly quickly after I got him, and then I've got one male that will mature next molt, and then I've got little Rudy. So I've got one male right now that I'm sending him around to all the females. I'll answer her in just a second. I'm sorry.
No, keep going.
Yeah, just to like, because again, I don't know how old they are, and I also don't know if the egg sacs that I've gotten are viable. So he's just he's going around. Could you use temperature to help decrease the age gap? Yes, you can.
Like slow down the metabolism, basically.
It's not so much temperature; it's food intake with ogres. They are eating machines, and their growth is like proportionately related to how much food they're taking in. So I just decrease I don't put food in their nets or put food in their, and then that seems to slow them down a lot. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Sorry, I wanted to throw that up before I lost it. So
that's perfect.
Now that we're getting a ton of questions. So okay. So the other male he's been doing the rounds. He's got a bunch of lady friends. You've got 12 sacs from how many females, roughly?
I want to say 6 that are actively laying.
So between 6 that are laying, 12 sacs, which you're not kidding, like that's a lot. So that's a good amount of sacs. How many eggs can we expect, or how many hatchlings average do you think?
Can't remember, Jess. Do you remember about how many babies on average we would get? It was a lot. It was average 80, says Jess. Yeah, the problem is they're so dang small. It's hard to never really counted them, but I know it's pretty close. About 80 per little ball. Little marble egg sac, about 80 babies. So yeah.
So you have a good shot of that one generation being aces.
Yeah.
The trouble's going to be that second round.
Yes. Yeah.
So Rudy's going to knock out Rudy. You're looking for males from Rudy.
Yep. So Rudy's the little guy. He's just a little man right now. He's molted twice with us, but he's still about that big. And then I've got 2 smaller females that have not quite reached maturity yet. So
Okay.
between those three,
Oh
there's
no,
my
wait. You want? I'm not doing the math right in my head. I don't think Rudy's males
Yep, Rudy's little
should
male
be at breeding age when the females from this round are
from
adults, are ready.
that. Yeah, so of the founding stock, I've got
Yeah.
of the founding stock 2 younger females that will be ready for Rudy when he matures, and then I'll start the next round of eggs, hopefully from those 2 females. Does that make
Right,
sense?
right. But from those two, so okay, so Rudy's younger than the females that are going to be timed
Yep.
to him.
Yep.
So now the generation that's going now that you have eggs from,
hmm
those females will hatch maybe before Rudy's ladies lay eggs.
Yep.
So then Rudy's males, his boys, will grow to mate with the first round.
That's
Females.
correct. Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
And
so I did
potentially,
have it right.
yeah, but potentially, depending on how many times this founding stock keeps laying eggs, like maybe I can offset it that way too. So we'll see.
Okay.
It's going to be a toss up, but if I nail this, I can at least have 2 generations at the very least.
So then,
Yeah.
do you guys have? I can't imagine the organization, but between the two of you, like the organizational skills are pretty
Yeah.
phenomenal. So
Yeah.
okay, I'm trying to give you some credit here, man. Just stop,
Just-
please. What is your job in this whole situation?
I don't know, man.
You're the guy willing to come on dumb shows.
That's right. I just ramble. Yep.
Have you ever been bitten by any arachnids?
Oh, let's
It's
see.
a random question. Saw some big brown recluse today. Kind of terrifying.
Yep. So, no, I really haven't. I mean, other than maybe something in my sleep, but I don't touch them. I don't tinker with them. I treat them like fish.
Yeah.
I've had to handle some of them, but it's not something I like put myself in a position. I feel like if you get bitten, like unless it's a complete total accident, it's really your fault. So, no, I haven't. Just got tagged by a little one, but it was just so small. It was like kind of cute. Yeah.
Gotta be cute, but a little what though? A little what?
A little baby tarantula. Yeah.
Okay,
during
okay.
Thanksgiving stuff. But other
Yeah,
than
that wouldn't.
yeah.
I am not a fan of trying. I was terrified when I had my tarantula. So
Yeah.
yeah, she passed on me, but
How long you had that one for? Though? That was a while, right?
I had her for a couple years, and then I assume it's a her. I don't know. I wished that it was.
Yeah.
I never got him. I never got it sexed, but it had escaped for a little while, like months, and I just assumed it was dead. My cat knocked the lid off.
Oh,
So when I was digging around, I was digging around like frantically, and then I'm like, "You idiot! If it's not lost, if it's not gone, and you're digging it up out of its home, like you're gonna get tagged, even though it's just a Arizona blonde." Right?
Yeah, that's right.
So super cool spider, like just a great tarantula. Like if you want to handle a tarantula, I don't know much about tarantulas, but I'm gonna recommend that one hands down. Like that's a very handleable tarantula. So not that I was like, oh, who's a sweetie, but if I had to do something when I had to clean, I'd get her out and she'd walk onto my hand. I would let that happen. I wouldn't be like, hey, what are you doing?
Right.
But she was more than willing. Yeah, she'd be like, yeah, let's get out. Let's do this.
Yeah.
But anyway, I found her. I looked everywhere, tore the basement apart looking for her because I was like, part of it was I was concerned about the animal.
Of course.
Part of it was my wife has a strict no spider policy. So, and I had her for 2 years already.
A little motivation. Yeah.
Yeah. So couldn't find her. So then when I did find her, I was setting up another setup for isopods or something. And I have a bin of cork bark flats, like the ones you like fill a bag for $20 from Zoom Ed or whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
So those little pieces of crap ones. So I move it and I see movement, like significant movement in that bin. And I'm like, oh no. And so it's her. And so I put her back and got her all set up with water and everything. And right away she was at the water. Like she hid for a little bit and then the water was like gone.
Yeah.
So I just kept that going, kept the misting. And then a couple weeks later, I came down and opened her thing and the smell, like, I knew immediately that she had died. So it could have been a boy, could have been, they only live a couple years anyway, right? The males, like 5 maybe.
Couple few, depending on the species, Yep.
So so anyway, don't have a spider anymore, but gonna get into jumpers, I think. I'm a big fan of jumpers.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Just gonna do some off my house. Like some of the when the spring comes, there'll be a bunch of babies running around again.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we had babies down here for some reason. I had baby jumpers everywhere. The one spring here in my basement. Like
Yeah.
I don't know where, but they were killing all the little soil moths, the little
It's wonderful.
fungus gnats and all that. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Kyle said his dad just found his blue tongue skink that was missing for a week.
Haha.
Yeah. If a blue tongue skink escapes, believe me, you made a mistake. Like that's your fault.
Yeah, we had one that we were letting Sun out
Okay.
in the backyard back in Michigan, and
Okay.
Jess literally stepped off the deck to grab the phone, and then when she came back, it was gone. We're like, great, the skink is gone. But then we had figured it probably went under the deck, and I like tore my deck apart. And
Yeah.
how long was that thing gone for? 3 weeks? Yeah, it was. I was like, it's gone. And then I walked out the back porch or the back deck, and I saw it basking on one of the stepstones, and I was like, hey, there's your skink. She was looking at me like, help me, please. She was fast.
Good thing is it's probably easy to catch on foot, you know?
Oh yeah. Well, at that point it was like, please help me. Yeah, like it let me pick it up. It was cold, but yeah.
He knew. It was like, please.
Those pesky little skinks. Yeah. They're quick when they want to be.
My stinker taught me a lot about housing a blue tongue skink. I was like, those stumpy legs, she's gonna be fine in this thing with a bullshit lid until I get something better figured out. Because it was kind of Sandy's here. It was kind of an impulse. I was ready, but not ready. I had all the stuff I needed, not the tank though.
Gotcha.
So she's escaped multiple times, not recently, but yeah. But okay, so the logistics. Sorry, we'll get back to it. We're way off topic, but the logistics of this is what has me like. I could never do a project like this myself. I'd freak out. I don't have a Jess. I don't have a manager for the program.
Yeah, it helps.
I would love to. Like, I have the drive to do it. I don't have the. I'd be in panic mode every day. So, every spider would be like, okay, did you get your drop of water? Boop. Did you get a 3 millimeter roach?
Yeah, there is a lot of that. I'm getting better as I'm seeing, like, clearly, like, what we've been doing is working because they're, like, actively spinning sacks, and they're all doing because when they first come in, it's like, oh, like, what's going on with you? Like, each individual one, like, they're so, like, traumatized from the shipping and then the unpacking, and then it's like, are my conditions right? So, but now that, like, everyone's back on track, it's like, okay, you can kind of step away and just let them do their thing, leave them alone. But you enjoying that little soda there?
Oh, so I was trying to answer that while you were. I was listening. I can listen and type now. It's pretty awesome.
Knocking it down.
Yeah. It's not bad. I mean, I'm not. It was like a third of a glass, and I'm still nursing it.
Why not do it again?
I think it'd be good with rum. Like kind
of where my mind went. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be good with like a spiced rum.
Yeah.
Like Kraken or something. It would be really good.
Rum make
yeah, right. Like just top this off with rum, and
then
that'd be solid. That'd be solid.
Yeah.
Then it would curdle. Yeah, I don't know. The logistics would bother me, and getting it, like, I'd be so frustrated.
Luckily, like, the spiders are relatively simple and straightforward. Like, as long as you're just meeting a couple of those little parameters, right? But like, like, could you imagine, like, if it was an amphibian species or something that needed a quarantine process and needed meds and like needed to be treated probably for chytrid? Like, let's just like, if you were doing this with amphibians, which I know a lot of people do, it'd be much harder, much more of a challenge. You need more infrastructure, right? I just have a baker's rack with some glass tanks on it, and I just make sure the lights go out, and there's no shortage of food here. So my approach to this project is actually quite simple, but it can be very difficult now, especially like, because I come from this world of the zoos where we did this with amphibians, but it was for re-release, right? Like sanctioned, government approved re-releases. What was that?
Sorry, that was my phone. I don't ever have my ringtone.
I thought that was a kid. I thought that you had a kiddo in the background or something.
It's from Princess Bride. It's inconceivable.
Jess would know what that is. I've never seen that movie.
What?
Princess Bride.
Sorry guys, we're gonna have to cut the show short. We're gonna watch Princess Bride live with Ryan now.
That is the same reaction she gives me every time. She's looking at me like, "You're an idiot right now." But
It's
yeah,
so good. Are you not a
it's
fantasy
because
guy at all?
no, I'd watch it. It's not even that. I just haven't watched it.
Yeah, seriously. Like
Yeah,
you have to watch. It's so good, and it ages really, really well,
what she
and it's
said,
romantic. Like
man.
watch it with Jess. I'm telling you, it's romantic, so it might be to your benefit. I don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping us from doing that. We've been watching a lot of horror films lately, and then we watched Alien, Romulus. I finally saw that. Okay, it
Okay.
was okay, but other than that, I don't have an excuse.
It's
Yeah.
all right, man. It's all right. I'll send you a copy. I think I have multiple copies because I bought like the 25th anniversary. I
Wow.
bought the big leather bound 25th anniversary book for my daughter. So that's waiting for her to be reading like full on books and getting it.
Nice. That's
She just
cool.
announced another crush that she has on the bad boy at school. She's
Nice.
6. She's
Mm.
6, by the way.
Well,
So
she'll learn.
yeah, she's been
Yeah.
telling me this boy is they get referrals if you get so many referrals at her school. She had a grade school.
Mm.
So first grade, if you get 12 referrals in 1 year, you're done. Like you can go to regular. It's in like a weird program school, but
Okay.
you go to regular public school if you get 12
Gotcha.
referrals, you're done.
12's a
So
lot.
he's got 6 already. So he's the bad boy of the school. Yeah. I went to school with the principal. I went to this school in grade school with the acting principal. Now he was my
Really?
friend. Well, I don't
That's
know about friend.
acquaintance, right?
He's the first kid I ever had a fist fight with.
Mm.
So I hope he doesn't remember that, but I'm pretty sure he does.
I probably hadn't forgotten that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a typical first grade fist fight. Like I say that I won it because I knocked him down first. That's all it
Gotcha.
was.
Yeah.
I hit him and he slipped on ice and fell. And all the other kids went, ooh, and that was it.
That was it.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has not forgotten that. Guaranteed.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, I do remember you. You used to do such great art. Like he drew better than me.
Yeah.
And I hated him for it, but
Right.
I didn't think that was fair that he could draw better than me.
Yeah. I am jealous of those folks.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
those artistic folks.
I'm working on a project for one of my podcaster buddies right now to help him with a logo. So hopefully that works.
Cool.
He's very particular.
Kyle, I'm looking at this comment here. Yep. So we know all about what Kyle's talking about there. Yeah, it is a nightmare. It's a big nightmare about that, Kyle.
Is
Yeah,
that fungus that's killing all the frogs?
it is that fungus.
Okay.
Hmm. Yep.
Oof.
That was why, like, basically all the quarantine protocols that were established at the zoo I worked at, like, was to prevent the spread or the introduction period of that fungus. Um, so like if you breach protocol, it was no different than like handling venomous snakes. Like it's that serious. So at least in AZA, right? So yeah, now Josh's frogs is kind of known at this point. I mean, yeah, they've had a breach and it is a mess. Like, it's a mess.
Yeah, I don't want any exclusives on this show about Josh's frogs having a
Yeah.
breach like that. That could wreck a lot of things. Like they've got
Mhm.
thousands of frogs that they have in their breeding populations
Yeah, man. I mean,
potentially.
that's what they do. So yeah, they got a mess on their hands, but
Uh,
I mean, you have to publish the issue. Yeah, well, you're right. They have to be transparent about it and you know sort through it. I mean, it can happen. Here's the thing: it can happen to anybody, but that's why like really strict protocols. That's what I'm saying. With just the spiders, it's really not that big of a deal. But with like amphibians, like if I was going to do this project with one of those, it's like there's so
yeah,
many things you have to be conscious of at every moment, at every step. Like there's a whole book this thick that I had to adhere to when I work with amphibians, just because it's a real thing. So
and it's worldwide. Like that's what's crazy too, is it could be almost anywhere that you're finding it.
yep, mess.
They're getting a tough row right now. Amphibians are getting a tough, getting hit from a lot of angles. Not
Yep.
great.
No, it's not. If like habitat degradation and climate change to some extent wasn't enough, it's like let's bash them with this fungus that
Yeah,
like suffocates them too. Yep.
pollution, fungus, mutations like crazy. It's not good. Yeah, and they're
Yep.
susceptible to all those things. Like, but they've been around for what, billions of years, whatever.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I don't know. I think they'll be okay eventually. They just won't be as many different ones.
That's exactly right. Yeah, like montane or highland species are really struggling with chytrid, but like there are a lot of populations that live in
Hi,
warmer
Sandy.
climates that are doing okay. So they'll probably be okay. Most of them.
Fingers crossed. I mean, there's so
Yeah.
many, and we have so many captive bred populations now too, especially dart frogs. But I'm sure there's stuff out there that we haven't even seen that will go extinct before it's discovered.
Oh,
Like
100%. Yeah, I bet that happens every day.
they
For
just
sure.
discovered like last year there was like a 3-inch lizard that they discovered they had never seen before.
Yeah, I think I read about that. I can't
That's
remember
a
which.
pretty big specimen
Yeah.
for now to find and just be like, whoa, okay, this is brand new.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
yeah,
Cool.
probably a gecko. Who knows? Everything's a gecko.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
but yeah, wild, wild. So there's got to be stuff out there we'll sadly never even get to see.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
um, but ogre spiders, are they endangered?
No, I think at this time, I mean, there might be populations that like aren't, because here's the thing, like during the day, a lot of these Dinopus, they blend into their environment really well. Like they're really hard to
Yeah,
find during the day. So you're only really going to find them if you're looking for them at night. Um, and I don't think like anyone is properly surveying them. So I can't, I'm assuming they're
sure.
probably least concerned, but who knows? Who knows? Like that's another one where there's probably like dozens and dozens of ogre spiders that we've never even heard of or seen of that who knows, you know what I mean? So
So in this case, like this particular breeding project is keeping them from, which is probably most captive bred projects.
yeah.
Part of it is keeping them from being collected and shipped over 100, and
Yeah.
you get 25. You know what I?
Exactly.
That's like
Yeah.
75% death rate.
Yes. Yes. It's all just an efforts to stop, like ease up off the pressure of wild populations, which should be honestly the goal of every hobbyist. I mean, if you intend to breed, if you just want a pet, that's kind of different. But I think it's important for all of us to kind of acknowledge that pressure that the pet trade does have, and to
Yeah,
do our best to like stop that because we all want our animals, we love our animals,
yeah,
but it should be the goal of everyone to let's stop, like don't buy wild caught unless you're doing it like what we are, if you're gonna collect them and then breed them and sell their offspring or something like that. But like I see so many wild caught spiders still coming in, even from Peru, like pink toads and stuff like that, which like Jess was telling me like there's not legal exportation of animals from Peru, and yet I go to a show and I see them on someone's table. It's like you didn't ask any questions, like
you just opened
like
the box and
you
said
just
hooray.
were like, "Oh, this is cool," like and the people checking them in the country like might not know what they're looking at, or the species is like purposely mislabeled as something else to hide its origin. So like we just have to really pay attention to stuff like that and be conscious of that because it's a problem. Like this could all be gone tomorrow. Now, I don't want to sound doom and gloom, but they can. Like they can just say, okay, that's enough of that. So
Of importing or
yeah, yeah, yeah,
exporting.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Importing, exporting,
Oh, hi,
just
buddy.
like all the regulations coming. Oh, there's that kitty cat. He
Hi.
ain't starving, that's for sure. He's not a starving kitty.
No, he's a fat bastard. So you could tell he was
Oh,
out in the
that is
wild.
a fat kitty.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, he's got something going on. GI. We got to get him into the vet. So he just jumped up and farted, and I'm dying now. He
So
curdled my drink.
I
So
was gonna say, he's sucking on that juice of yours.
yeah, no, he eats anything, and I guess Siamese are really sensitive GI guys. Yeah, I don't know what language Rod is speaking here, but
Yeah, so
these are
ambystoma,
frogs. I'm assuming these are frogs.
ambystoma, that would be your salamander, I'm assuming.
Okay.
And then pseudocris,
Ow, no, no, I didn't pull you up here to attack me.
no, regelia. I don't know what that species is.
Pseudocaris, Regelia,
Yeah, but they're testing negative.
natives.
That's cool that you're testing them. That's cool. There is a strand of chytrid that does affect salamanders. We call that B cell. That was more of a problem in Europe, but I think they did find it in the U.S. So like, you've got different angles of this fungus attacking different species too. But good for you for testing. That's awesome. I think it's cool to know if it's in your backyard, because if it's in your backyard and you're walking in your backyard, you're going to track it everywhere else. Like you go to the zoo, or you go into your house, your friend's house, you know,
I didn't
long-toed
think of that.
salamanders and Pacific tree frogs. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Good to know.
I didn't even think of that. So, What's your thoughts on adding reptiles to USDA? USDA won't be around very long, so I don't think we need to worry about that.
Yeah, but it could, here's the thing. I like regulation, but I don't. I don't want to add more things to anything, but also I'm responsible. I think about these things and I ask questions. But I know the rest of the country might not be, so it's hard. Like, I don't want more regulation, but if that's what has to happen to protect wild populations, I'm all about it. But that usually comes at a cost to the pet trade, right? Because go ahead.
I've come to the conclusion that that's okay. As just an amateur pet keeper, enjoyer, who also enjoys what you do. Like, I enjoy zoo stuff. I enjoy talking to the keepers when I get a chance. I enjoy knowing them a little bit. But I think it keeps people that have no business having the animals. I've talked to people about this before a lot on this show, but I'm from the age where I could go to a reptile show or an expo, and it was the Wild West. Like, you could get anything. We sold Suriname toads, Peepa frogs at PetSmart when I was working at PetSmart 25 years ago.
Wow.
So, like, that's how crazy it was. They were just pulling whatever they could out of the wild to sell it. We had Sicilians, right? We had the Sicilian amphibians.
Yeah, you never see anymore.
Yeah, nobody that shopped with me knew what to do with those. I didn't know what to do with those.
Yeah.
So we couldn't find information on them.
Yeah.
So there was no internet. There was none of that stuff. But you could get a kinkajou for $200.
Yeah.
Whatever.
God.
So I had all kinds of, I didn't have a kid. I didn't have a wife. All my income was, I could do whatever I wanted with my money. So I could have had a breeding population of kinkajous in my house.
Yeah.
So why didn't I do that?
They just don't make good pets.
No, they don't. They don't. After I did my research, they don't. They don't.
Yeah, those are funky. But here's another example.
This is what I deal with.
Oh, he likes you.
Yeah, I'm delicious, apparently.
Little brat. Look at him go.
You're an
Ow! You're gonna be one of those like viral videos on Facebook of all the cats doing mischievous little things.
He's a demon. He is a demon.
He is. Look at that.
As long as he doesn't use his back paws, I'm okay. Ow! That's too hard. That's too hard.
Gonna whack you.
All right, you gotta go.
But here's a good example, just to bring this up. Like, going back to adding reptiles to USDA, I just saw USARK post you know how USARK on Facebook, they do like, warning, let's just say Michigan, like a new proposition to ban X, Y, Z species. He just did that for crocodilians in Michigan.
Yeah.
Now, I don't believe you should have crocodiles as pets. Like,
I don't either.
You should not. You should not. And I've worked with them in zoos, and I don't believe you should, and I don't believe anyone in Michigan should have crocodiles. But here's the problem.
You can get a Nile crocodile baby at the show now. You can get it in Illinois.
See, people are the problem. And now here's the flip side of the coin. Here's me playing devil's advocate. You ban one species, well, now you open the door to ban others. And what it comes down to is, like, you guys just need to freaking be responsible and use your head, but they don't. So it's like, I hope that goes through. But by me saying that, like, that just opens the door for more, right? So,
well, what we need is we need people like us in positions in the USDA who will do the homework and do the common sense. Like, okay, if this got out, is it a problem? Yeah, because I know a lot of people in Asheville now. There was a lot of people that had big collections that got wiped out. Like, they don't know what died in the storms, what got loose in the storms. I know Joe from Asheville Wildside said that all his stuff was on lockdown and they were okay. They lost power, but all their stuff was contained, which is good because he's like you, kind of. More than you. He's got a million different things. Yeah, he's got a million different things. You got to watch the episode where he came on with the crabs.
I will. Yeah, I know he's got some crabs. Yeah.
He had like 5 different species, and then that was all he brought on. But he had a bunch of others apparently.
Yeah, he's a wild man.
But I want to say so many things in every country. If everybody was just responsible, but they're not.
No.
Like 20% of us maybe are responsible. The other 80% are buying shit for their kids, or they don't care. They don't know the homework. They don't know what it needs. They get tired of it and let it go.
Yeah,
Um,
big snakes, big monitors, crocodilians, like all of those things are unfortunately like victim of that. And just people
yeah,
that think it's cool, they don't understand how big these things get, how expensive it is to keep these animals. And in Michigan, like I just don't see how that works. It just doesn't when you unless you have a huge facility. In which case, if you have a huge facility, you have a space, you should be permitted and you should be following those rules. Which, if that's the case,
yeah.
great. But that's just not what's happening, right? So
No,
yeah,
it's just not, and it's bad for the hobby. It's bad for the animals as a whole. It's bad for breeders.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. Too many idiots buying exotic animals. Yeah, I think I saw it front line in the isopod trade. So when I got in the isopod trade is when it was exploding when I got in, and that's kind of how I got in, is that it was just blowing up that bad.
yeah,
And people were just like, they were seeing how much, or they were extrapolating how much some of these big breeders were making, getting, they're, oh my God, this person's making so much money doing this. And they just grow in dirt. You just throw them in dirt with some leaves and boom, you have thousands. Of course, yeah, I want to buy these.
yeah.
But that's not the case. So then people, I don't even know what species are out now, like what people have. Like when I came in, it was the big stuff was saber morphs or scaber morphs.
Yeah.
That was the big deal, like lemon ice or whatever crap name they gave them. There were so many that was the big deal. There was
Yeah.
nothing really, a couple Cubaris species, but scaber morphs was like the jam. And
Yeah.
now it's like these insane, but that's people that are getting them with little knowledge, trying to make some bucks. And it's not a thing to make bucks. There's so much competition.
Yeah.
And yeah, but that's, I could see that extrapolated to a lot of other hobbies.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's no different, right? It's
Yeah.
trying to like rush to make money on these things. I mean, here's the thing. Usually with things like that, like it just sorts itself out, right? Like I'm assuming I'm not in the isopod hobby, but I'm
Good.
assuming it's kind of gone down, right? It's kind of like prices have kind of come down, and or is it still wild? Is it still like people are paying a lot of money per bug or?
There are some really wild priced ones, but it's all the news. They keep finding all these new species that are coming in.
Oh,
And
I'm
so
sure.
the people that are
I,
getting those imported, the big names
yep.
are front lines or whatever, getting them in. And then they're like, I don't know, there was a spiky species recently that was a couple $100 per bug,
Wow.
um, which is insane to me. And they still don't have, like, as far as I know, I'm a little bit out of it, but as far as I know, they still don't have the husbandry down on a lot of those.
No.
So the
How,
production of them, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
The babies, the ones that you get in, are probably already pregnant, and then they're having babies,
Mm,
and that's it. That's all you
okay.
get. So, uh,
Interesting.
yeah, because they just aren't. There are some people having some success. I know Easy Eddie. Eddie's having a lot of success, but he goes way above and beyond for all his isopods. Like
Sure. Yeah, he's a
I look
nerd.
at his setup and I'm like, what are you doing? And the answer is he cares a lot about his animals.
That's
That's it.
cool. Yeah,
So
I can appreciate that. I like the nerds, man. I like people who want to experiment and go all out and really dig in. I think that's cool. I think it's fun. But
yeah, but
definitely, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's an isopod or if it's a spider or a monitor. Like it's all the same.
yeah,
You know, little bugs get a lot less attention than big animals, but it's still the same concept. Just got to be responsible. And, you
yeah.
know,
I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot of reasons to keep that responsibility and to
Yeah,
keep.
I mean, just the other day, some idiot smuggling news out of Peru, right? Got popped smuggling a bunch of spiders on his taped to his body on a plane. Yeah, it's like,
Taped to his
God.
body.
Yeah, he had a bunch of animals like taped to his body under his clothes. Yeah, of course, and everyone. This is what drives me insane is everyone thinks it's so exciting, so they take like the little clip or like the little clickbait thing and they just
Yeah,
share it to all the groups. I'm like, oh, look at this idiot. This is really fun. It's like, guys, stop talking about it. Like, stop.
yeah,
I know it's exciting. It's the same thing like with people who like handle venomous animals and it's very exciting and everyone wants to talk about it and rag on them. But it's like, stop sharing that everywhere. That's not good for us. It's not a good look. And you just put it all over the Facebook group, all over the
yeah,
internet. Like, let it
yeah,
die. He's an idiot. Bad. Shame on you. Don't talk about it again. Like quit propagating that stuff. I'm telling you because there's people paying attention.
yeah.
It's like,
You
oh,
can't not talk about it though. It's so wild. Like
I
that
know.
guy
Well,
that what was it,
we
the
can.
Taipan?
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
another. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
kind of frick that guy, kind of, but like
Yeah, but that
all
whole thing was
accounts,
that was all sensationalized and put all over YouTube. So now, like,
yeah,
everyone knows about it, and it people who don't know anything about, like, lawmakers and judges and things like they're just looking at that like, "Look at these idiots. They're all just
yeah.
free handling taipans." Like,
We got to
so
get on this. Yeah, we
yeah,
got to figure this out, and
why do we let them have taipans? You know, it's
yeah,
like,
lock this down.
which
That's
I
a good
agree with.
question. Why do we? Why do
Yeah,
we? That seems
yeah,
real,
yeah,
real dumb.
yeah, put a stop to this. And all the big ones and all the bad ones, and they're all just all of them. You know what I mean? I know I'm being dramatic, but it's not out of the realm of possibility, is all I'm saying. Yeah, spiders on a plane, the next
Yeah.
dumb movie. Yeah, it's coming. Another silly
Oh,
spider.
arachnophobia, like on a plane, that would be awesome.
It would be fun.
That would be awesome. That was the most ridiculous movie ever. I remember
Yeah,
having to explain to a
hilarious.
girlfriend, like, "Are spiders, do they do that? Because the coffin, did you see that one or no?"
I've seen them all, yeah, but, like, years ago. Yeah, but
Arachnophobia, the guy got bit by the spider and died, and so they put him in a coffin to ship him back to the States, and, the spider was still on him
oh, okay.
when they put him in the coffin, so when he got here, his body went into the coffin, fresh, and he
Yeah.
came out, it was like a 2-week journey or something, and when they got him back and they opened the casket, his body's just mummified, like, all the
Mm,
juices are drained out of it 'cause this
heck
one
yeah.
tarantula spider sucked all the juices out of him in 2 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, so then it showed up, started laying eggs, and it was, like, the most poisonous, crazy spider ever, and
Yeah, game over, man.
John
Yeah,
Candy said or, not John Candy, John Goodman said, "Not on my watch."
yeah.
So, pretty great.
Yeah, yeah, which is fun. I think it's fun, but yeah, yeah, I'm reading Kyle's.
Oh, the YouTuber? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. Apparently well known. I never heard of his name before,
I don't
but
know, man, if you're free handling venomous snakes, like, that's on you. I feel no pity for you.
yeah, I mean, tailing an animal with a hook is kind of different than just free handling. But I see it on my feed all the time. All these people like free
Yeah.
handling these king cobras and stuff. I'm like, oh my god,
All these dangerous animals. I saw somebody free handling a blue ring octopus the other day,
nice.
and I was like, "Are you crazy? Like, would it bite you on purpose or, but you don't know
Yeah,
what's gonna make that animal freak out a little bit and give you a nip."
yeah, yeah. It
Like,
just
well,
doesn't look good. Yeah,
yeah,
and that's unless you don't know what it is and you're just being silly and you're like, oh look at this pretty octopus, and you don't know it.
yeah,
You don't
that's
know what
true,
it
and
is,
I mean, yeah,
which could be. But
the
I,
average
I
dum-dum.
yeah, I just see too many like content creators like free handling venomous stuff reviews, and I'm like, oh my god, it's not good. Not
Or
a good
hanging out
look.
with sharks. They're just free swimming with, like, white tip reef sharks, like,
Well, people aren't
what?
keeping white tips as pets.
That's true
that's
too.
more of like you're just good luck. But
That's true too.
yeah,
Or the crocodilian guys. There's guys with the alligators who just sit in the pool with the alligator, like, face to face, and
yeah,
he's just chilling, and I'm like, "Please bite him. Not that bad, but, like, show people it's dangerous," and he never gets bit, and I'm always upset because
yeah,
someone's gonna get an alligator thinking, "Oh, no, you could be cool with it,"
yeah. We're
and
friends. Yeah,
yeah, you're just not. Like, I never would put my daughter on an alligator at a show or
no,
whatever, like, because you don't know, like, that animal could go animal at any moment.
yeah,
Not happening.
yeah. I agree.
Um,
I
I don't
agree.
know if the guy goes around you or you've probably seen him at NARBC, like the guy with the full-grown, male alligator, Bubba, I think his name is, and you can sit on him or whatever and take pictures.
Yeah, I don't think he goes there anymore. But yes, I do remember Bubba. Yeah,
He's not taped up at all, like, he's just there,
yeah. I
and
know.
it's
Yeah,
like,
I'll be the first to say like crocodilians are very intelligent, and yes, it's obviously like a very quote unquote docile animal, but it's still an alligator. Like I'm, I don't know.
I mean,
Just
if
my
it
opinion.
turned its
Just my
head
opinion.
if it turned its head into you too fast, it's gonna break your leg.
Oh, it's gonna knock you out.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's gonna
knock you
do
out.
serious damage just whipping its head into you.
Yeah,
So, it's not just about the bite, like, it's just anyway, there's my soapbox. That needs to be more regulated for
yeah.
sure. I'm with you on crocodilians. It made me mad when I found out that I could go buy a Nile crocodile hatchling.
Wild. That is
Why?
wild. It's a Nile croc. Like I couldn't. I almost thought it was. I thought it was fake. I hoped it was fake, and I was like, oh no! Like I saw them in a little glass aquarium on a table at a show. Like
In Illinois. Like, we
yeah.
have a lot of regulations in Illinois. There's a lot of things you
Yeah, I
can't
was
do.
at a Southern show when I saw it. I was in one of the Carolinas, I think. But Bubba is retired in Florida. That's good. Good for him. I hope he's just swimming around, soaking up the sun.
Kyle knows, like, everybody. Hell, he's got his finger on the pulse over here.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. He lives right near me too. I've been to his house. I only do him on the show at his house.
Cool.
We need to do more episodes. Okay, so the spiders, we learned about them. All right, let's say husbandry. Let's do husbandry for these guys and show people how to keep them. So maybe they could get a few from your next generation and keep that going.
Yeah, I'm just going to make it very easy on everyone. So I'm going to make more content when I finally like have babies to show people. And I'm just going to make like a video that's on the website where it's like, here, when you get your spider, here's what it's going to look like. And here's how you're going to put it in. I'll just sell complete kits. But I mean, really, it's quite simple. I mean, 70 to 80 degrees. I did a YouTube video like setting up for these guys, and all I use is like herbicide, pesticide-free sticks that have dead leaves on them, and it's what they use to blend in. They blend into the sticks, they blend into the leaf litter, and I just vertical sticks and leaves is quite simple, really. The biggest thing, like I said, is making sure the lights go out, and then you can either toss food in their net, which is kind of fun, or you just let one prey item at a time loose and just watch them hunt. But I think you can't just go in there with a flashlight, you know what I mean? Because like if you shine light on them at night, they're gonna fold their nets up and they're gonna lay still and they're gonna be like, what is going on? So everything's just got to be dark. But other than that, they're very simple animals. They don't drink out of a water dish. You just mist them. They drink, I mist them in the morning because at night when you mist them, they kind of freak out and fold their nets up. So I just mist them in the morning. They'll go drink. Very simple. Very simple. And I'd like to get them sold to where like you can go to the pet store and buy a small cricket, like the pet store small, and that's what the animals are eating. So that's going to take some time on my part to raise these guys up, which I'm happy to do. But so ideally, once animals are released from Project Safety Net, it's like, here's your box. Here's like, I'll go, because I have so many trees down here in Tennessee, like I'll just go get all the sticks and leaves and stuff and just sell kits. I'm just going to make it easy for everyone, so it's enjoyable, right? You just plug and play and then watch these little freaks hunt their food, and that'll be that.
They are such freaks.
They're wild.
If you haven't seen their face, go Google them. I'm sorry I didn't put any pictures up. I've been super sick. No, it's fine. I was telling Ryan, this is like day 2 of me not having a migraine for the last month, so 23 days of migraine. I don't wish that on anyone, literally anyone.
No.
Glad to be back. Glad to be out of it.
Glad to see you here, man.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Thanks.
Yeah, seriously.
Put a big thing on my nose. Okay, so what was it? Wait, I had a question for you about these guys.
Yep,
so you do just glass bottom? What are you putting on the bottom?
Yep, I'm just using a bioactive soil. Because one thing they do, like if you're feeding them frequently, like they're leaving little boluses. So I usually pick the boluses out, but just a bioactive soil, not coconut fiber. Don't do that garbage. Just pick a good bioactive soil. You can use AVG. You can buy our soil. You can buy Ben at Roly Boy has a nice bioactive soil. Just a good bio soil with like a mix of particulates. Females will go through the process of laying phantom sacs. And usually when they do that, they spin the sac and then they take the particulate from the surrounding environment and kind of encase the sac with that. So that's why there's lots of various particulates and leaf litter and stuff like that for them to use for that. But other than that, man, nice bioactive soil is all you really need. And sticks, leaves, very, very simple. Like just programmed to blend in during the day and then catch something with a net at night. Very simple.
I can't imagine. So then for future owners, maybe put this in your video too. So from the time the lights go down, they start to do the trance thing where they're letting that membrane adjust. Or whatever it does. So then from that point, then that adjusts. Then they start making their net. So they go how long does that take, roughly?
About a half hour. Half hour. So the sun sets. I usually like to turn the lights off about an hour before the sun starts to set if you have like indirect ambient lighting. I do this for all my spiders, but that just kind of slowly starts that process. Usually it's about a half hour after it's completely dark, the membrane's built and they go to work. But like most animals, I would say not just spiders, but like most animals, like if you have indirect ambient lighting coming in, like turn the lights off in the room like an hour before the sun starts to go down so they have a dusk period. A lot of animals in captivity are more crepuscular than anything, so they like that dusk period, so if you can do that.
A lot of animals in captivity just don't get it either. So They get the lights come on, the lights go off.
I know, click, click. It just doesn't work that way in nature.
Yeah.
So if you can give them some sort of like dusk and dawn period. Frank, we will have more Damon Diadema. We are working on it. That's one of Jessica's little projects, so she's working on it. We should have them by spring.
What is that? What is Damon Diadema?
So we actually have quite a few different species of whip spiders. You know, like little Harry Potter bugs, the little creepy
Harry Potter bugs.
Yeah, the little
The
the
whip
little
scorpion
bug.
things?
Yeah, whip scorpions.
Okay.
Yeah,
But they are
those.
spiders. Yeah.
Yeah, they're arachnids. They're not spiders, but they're
Okay.
arachnids, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Nice. Those
they're
guys
cool.
creep me out, but they're really cool.
They're
Really
harmless.
cool.
So yeah, they're another freak, another weird looking little.
It's just one of those things, yeah, like Vinegaroon. Like I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of any scorpion really.
Yeah.
But like just because they're creepy, I'm not really afraid of them. But they're just like, why would you have that? Like some isopods are too shiny, and it reminds me of. They look like greasy. Like a scorpion looks greasy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Really shiny, really. Shiny.
Yeah, like that kind of. Nah, not a fan.
Yeah.
Like the emperor scorpion, that kind of like.
Widows have that
coating.
too. Yeah, widows kind of have that look too. That
Widows.
Widows.
Not a fan of any of that like semi-gloss. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it, but they look like they're waxy or like greasy. That's not a fan. Yeah. So like everybody loves them, and I can't think of the name of it. It's an isopod. They probably don't know because you're not into isopods. Hasi? Somebody help me out here. Hasi, they're black with yellow spots.
I know what you're talking about. I've
think
seen
that's
black
it.
with yellow spot. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're like a Porcelio almost. But they're greasy looking.
Green Jedi monkey. So they're making they're calling that like a ramping feature or a sunset mode. There more manufacturers like Exoterra is making them LEDs that kind of ramp on and off. Also Thrive Ecosystems. His name's Colby. He makes a really cool vivarium light that has ramping. You got to just look around, but I think they're calling that like sunset mode or ramping mode. There's more LEDs coming out with that feature, which is great because I think more people are catching on to that dawn and dusk period. So, yeah. Jess, do you work with Phrynis marginal maculatus?
No, they're too small.
Jess says they're too small. Who works? Oh, we have some.
I do, but they're just gonna. I don't really want to breed them.
Oh, well, who does breed them? Nick Kazaniga, which that man is the guy for all things whip spiders. Nick Kazaniga. I don't think he has a business name. He's just one of those dudes, one of those nerds.
One of those nerds.
Yep, gotta love those nerds.
We have some. We just don't. It's funny you don't even know that they're there in your place. There's just that much.
That's a her thing. Yeah.
So what is your job there? Like it sounds like Jess is doing most
I don't know. I don't know what I do. What
if
do
she
I
has a real job, like
I'm gonna go to bed. No.
Hey, these are your words, man. I'm just
no, you're right. I'm like, what is my purpose here? What the hell do I do? I don't know. I'm helpful on occasion. Anyone breeding pill millipedes?
Trying to think. Somebody I know breeds pill millipedes in the States, but they're not like the exotic ones. They're just basically native to America or Europe. So people always want the ones from like Madagascar or Malaysia or something.
Yeah, the real fancy ones.
Well, you can't keep them alive because there's something they still haven't unlocked like what's going on.
Dietary, you mean?
Yeah, there's something for their gut that
I know a lot of those things like you can't keep them with cork bark because if they eat the cork that they can't digest that. Cocoa fiber too, like none of that crap. Like
cocoa fibers, no. People still do it.
I hate cocoa
and they get
fiber.
Success, but I don't know.
I won't find it in this building. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, the Asian ones, the African ones, you can't really keep them. Something in their gut biome is.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just like amphibians, like that complexity, that relationship they have with the soil and the environment, a little more complex than just like putting it in a sterile box.
I did not think that was a thing. That makes sense because their whole skin is that membrane, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's actually, so like as the chytrid fungus is evolving, I know we keep talking about frogs, but what I did forever. As the Kitchen fungus evolves, the microbial communities they're finding on the backs of these frogs are also changing to fight the fungus. So there's like a little
Okay.
autoimmune thing going on there. Oh, just in, Reptipet has pill millipede. Had. Reptipet. You see that?
I think
Reptipet.
Alan Gian has them in the States. I want to say that's the guy that has some of the ones in the States. And then I have a German guy too that has some. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Lars Meyer, I think.
Just don't brown box. Please don't.
They're nice buddies. Yeah, don't brown box. They would be. They're very responsible guys. So they
Cool.
would be. I mean, Alan is here, so all of his stuff is legit. And then, yeah, Lars is very reputable and good at his stuff too.
Dwarf?
Yeah, don't brown box them. Not good. Dwarf wood scorpions.
Yeah, I've never heard of that, but I like dwarf wood. I mean, I like the way that sounds. Sounds cool.
I want to look for pseudo scorpions. Apparently, we have them in my area.
Oh, really?
I think it would be cool to find some this year.
Yeah, we have little scorpions here. I have no idea what they are. I don't know. Not like, I mean, native.
Oh.
Like hanging out in the rocks and stuff. I don't know what they are. I don't know. Yeah,
awesome.
it's like too many projects to tackle scorpions because we've got reptiles now too. Like we're doing a bunch of herps and got geckos and snakes coming out of my ears. Oh, okay, eastern stripeless scorpions are what we have here. Okay.
I like that she's over there doing the research for us right there. It's like,
I don't know what she's doing. What are you doing over here? Oh, she's sexing tarantula molts and then just like finding stuff on her phone to show us.
So now, quick, in your facility, like I'm saying facility, it's not in your living room, right? It's like a
correct.
So do you have a separate building?
No, it's all the same building, but our living quarters is upstairs. So we're in the facility right now. Yeah.
So the main floor basically is the facility thing.
Yeah.
So I'm picturing like a barn. I don't know why I'm picturing a barn setup, but that's
well, it is. It's like it's a what you would call it a barn dominium is what we built.
Yeah.
But like the bottom. So the animal room is 30 by 30, and then the dry goods, like shipping space, is 30 by 30, and then upstairs is 30 by 30. So it's like a 60-foot building.
Nice.
The bottom half is all just critter stuff.
That's all you need. That's the best.
That's it.
That's the best. And a projector screen so you can watch Princess Bride later.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure that out. I'm gonna figure that out.
Just put it up against your spider tanks.
Yeah.
Spider setups,
no, I got room upstairs. Yeah, I can put it up there.
Yeah. That'd be fun if your spiders got to see it. They're smart. So anyway, at your facility, I just imagine in my head, I've got this picture of the hex setups. What were they called? I forget. The hive.
Yeah, we call them the hollows. Those hexagon shaped setups.
They're hollows now. Okay.
Well, it always was the hollow, but then like we have the purple box enclosures that we sell. Yeah, that are just the squares. But for a little bit of time, we released that hexagon shaped tank. We called it the hollow.
Okay. See, I always called it something different. So it's
you always wanted to call it the hive, which
the hive.
Great. But come to find out now, there is someone making hive enclosures, and they're very serious about their brand and their name. So
never mind. They watched the show. They took it. They stole it from me. Bastards. Yep. I hope they watch this episode and know that I'm on to them now. Not giving shit away for free anymore.
That's right.
So I'm picturing like hundreds and hundreds of purple boxes in various sizes.
Well, here's something fun.
Loaded with spiders.
I don't like acrylic. I don't use acrylic. I just sell it. I just sell acrylic boxes.
It's not going to help your sales at all.
I don't care. No, it doesn't matter because I'll be at the show and they'll be like, "Oh, acrylic. Which acrylic box do you recommend?" And I'm like, "I recommend glass Exoterra tanks." And they're like, "Okay, I'll take 2 of your purple boxes." So it doesn't matter what I say. Their mind is already made up. But we have, I don't want to say hundreds, but we have a lot of glass front opening Exoterra enclosures just kind of surrounding the perimeter of the room. So
yeah, I've seen them on the shows where you've done like showing off like this is the one. Look at, they do need sun and they bask and
Yes.
They're not going to sit on the light and burn themselves because they're not complete morons. They're not rocks with legs. Like
Right. Yes, it's been
all the myths, all the
um,
dumb myths.
it's been a challenge over the years trying to explain simple concepts, but
Yeah.
we're getting better. It's getting better. The hobby is getting better. We are getting smarter. People are critically thinking. It's always up and up. So I'm happy to
I
hear
think
that.
so
But
too. I agree with that. I think that
yeah,
it is up and coming, and I'm always almost offended at how many people know more than me. So
someone will always know more. Yep.
I'm just saying how many people. Like it's
Oh
a vast amount of people. Um, but I only dabble, so I
yeah.
justify it that I just dabble
You
everywhere.
just need enough to know. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that makes sense. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm that way too. So
I'm actually kind of learning scientific names, so I'm picking
good.
things up as I go. So I kind of know what people are
Nice.
talking about. When they
Okay.
mention one, I'm like, okay, that's in this genus,
Yeah.
whatever genus.
Yeah.
Um, that's Russ's fault, but it's happening. So,
That's good.
uh, yeah.
That's good
So is
to
this
see.
just racks and racks?
Yeah, around the perimeter, and then we've got like a couple running through the middle, which are like where we keep babies and juveniles, and then now I've got reptiles. So like I said, I've got a 8-foot reticulated python that's in a grow tent right now. Eventually, she'll need a 10-foot grow tent, so that's got to go somewhere.
Jeez.
Yeah, we need more room. I think we're gonna have to knock this wall down eventually and go 30 feet longer that way, but in due time. But yeah,
That's in the
we've got a
future.
lot of things in the future.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when you get into fish. So when you
Have
get into fish,
Nope, no water. I've already decided no water. I'm not doing it. No more water. I've done all my time with water. I'm done. Have you done any episodes on dirt? Kind of. So our Spiders After Sunset show, we just did a whole thing on bioactive builds as they pertain to tarantulas. But we can talk about substrates. We can talk about that all night. I mean, there's so much to that.
there is. That's why I've talked about it on this show, which is what I think my audience is asking if I covered it on my show, but that's
Oh,
okay.
uh,
We
please
have
tell
talked
me.
about it on my show.
Yeah, this would be the show. Forget what I have to say. This would be the show. But it's
We,
interesting because what I want to say is like you get what you pay for. Like you know what I mean? Like bioactive, like a true bioactive soil, I think is like a labor of love. Like it takes a lot.
yeah,
It's not just like a couple of things and coconut fiber. Like there's a
yeah,
process to making good bioactive soil. So like if you see one, you're like, well, why would I pay $20 for that bag when I can go to, no offense, but like BioDude and get one for $5? Well,
yeah.
it's just not the same thing. There's
It's
so
not.
much to it. Yeah, you can.
Biodudes is okay, but it's
It
not
is
like,
for what you pay for. It's okay,
yeah,
but it's
yeah,
not the same thing. That's what I always say. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We could do another one on dirt. I have to look and see if I did one a long time ago, and then I found out the guy that I had on talking about it was not awesome person.
Nice.
Knows a lot about dirt. Like, don't get me wrong, like really knowledgeable guy, but
Sounds like
more
you're
than a
ready for
little bit of a douche. Yeah,
another
so
round. Yeah.
yeah, so I may have deleted that video. I've only deleted a few, but I may have. I don't know for sure if I did or not, but it would be about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. We'll have to
Mm.
go back through the catalog and see.
Yeah.
But we've definitely talked about dirt a couple times. Talk about Isopods Anonymous. Kyle over there does great stuff. I love when people send me they'll send me like a sample to check it out.
Yeah.
And I should do more live. I should do more like unboxings with
Yeah.
those because the smell that each different one gives off is like, it's like coffee aficionados. Like if you're
Agreed.
a coffee guy and you open up a new bag of coffee and you're like, oh my God,
I'm
I can
that guy.
smell the jungle in this. Yeah. So, but this is what I am with dirt. Like
Yeah.
that's how I'm with dirt. So I'll be at Home Depot getting like base stuff for substrate because I'll mix my own still.
Good.
I don't need as much though, so I'm into buying it more, but I'll slit the bag a little bit and be like, what you got in there?
Yeah.
What you got in there?
What are you cooking in there?
Yeah. So, because I mean, honestly, almost all dirt you get somewhere is going to be bioactive to some extent, but this is, you have a frass sniff jar to get intoxicated by the aroma, and then wake up 3 hours later only to find out you forgot to pick up your wife from work. I don't know what frass you're sniffing, but
I like that though, a little sniff jar.
that's a good idea.
If you could jar like a freshly planted Viv smell and just kind of like get a whiff of that every morning, start you off right, I'd do it.
Where's that Yankee Candle?
Yeah, dude.
Forest floor.
Yeah.
We need something
Good
like
idea.
they gotta have something. I'll call them up.
Yeah,
Got all kinds of weird candle smells now.
good idea.
People are coming up with. Soil
Mm-hmm.
scientists are trying to breed the giant Palaus earthworm.
Mm,
People throw out the most random facts. That's awesome.
that is cool. Worms are cool.
We need to talk to a worm farmer. All right. So this breeding project, is there anything else you want to add?
I need to do an update. Other than
Or
that,
in this like venue, like
yeah, yeah,
for people doing these projects.
yeah. So I encourage everyone to do it. Absolutely everyone, and it doesn't have to just be a spider. It can be anything, but you gotta love it because I'm undoubtedly gonna lose. Well, I probably won't lose money, but it's an investment. You gotta love it, and it's like if you can break even, great. But definitely don't do it for money. Just do it for the sake of like, here's a problem that needs to be fixed. There's plenty of species that are still imported, for Christ's sake, that shouldn't be, and that like we could do a lot better with in the States for sure. So,
Yeah,
but it takes time. It takes time. It takes money. It takes resources. It takes patience. Um, but everyone can do it.
because you're gonna get stuff wrong. I mean, but again, do your homework. And these are projects I think I'm talking about that are not like for morphs or for color strains.
No,
or
no, 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 no.
Whatever. These are just the species. We're not messing around with like.
Dude, like jumping spiders were a perfect example a few years ago. Thank goodness now more people are taking it seriously, but like they were coming in from Florida by the hundreds. Like I would get images from, I don't even know who they were, but I would just get images of stacks and stacks of wild caught jumping spiders at like $5 each. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, like why are you doing that? So it's just, they're a great example,
You could literally look around anywhere for 20 minutes and find a wild caught jump. You find a jumping spider.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the continental United States, probably the other United States as well. You can look for 15 minutes and find a jumping spider.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah, I would definitely I encourage everyone to do it for sure if you're serious about it,
Yeah, and get out there, make a little money and make a little difference.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Yep. So, that's the message. Boom.
Yeah, and I think we covered last time too. There's not really anything wrong with wild catching stuff in your vicinity that you're doing yourself, and then breeding and selling the babies. That's captive bred, right?
Yeah, correct. And it just comes down to like moderation. Like, luckily, nature's really good at doing what it does, But it's just the over collection is just so silly. It's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, don't go nuts. I mean, but
yeah,
be responsible. How many are you going to keep anyway? Like, how many? If you're doing a breeding program, you're not going to go out and catch 500 jumping spiders.
I would hope not. You don't need that many. Like they're
Yeah.
so prolific, and you have so many babies. But
So I don't think anyone watching this would do that. But if you happen to just be tuning in for the first time and you made it through an hour and a half, and this is the last thing you get, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Dozen tops.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so get out there, breed, and get these guys a better life on the outside.
Yeah, definitely. Ease up on the pressure is all I ask. You know what I mean? So
I like it. Yeah, look for captive bred specimens before you.
Yes, please ask. Oh my goodness! Like, and if you go to a show or a pet store, like, and if they can't tell you exactly where these animals came from, like, don't buy from them. I mean, like, they should be able to tell you exactly. They can lie, of course, but ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions for sure.
Right. This is a good comment. I like the conciseness of that.
Yeah, I like that too. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, as long as it's legal to do in your state and that's not a restricted species. I really don't see a problem with that. So
still want spotted turtles so bad. I'm so mad that they're.
I know spotted are so cute. I had a bunch of them at the zoo that we worked with. They're awesome.
Frank has ant mimics.
Oh, that's cool. That's real cool. Just like those.
They're jumpers too, right? The ant mimics are jumpers.
Yeah, the jumpers are little aliens, man. They take all forms. They mimic all sorts of stuff, but the ant mimics are really cool.
I want some bad. I got the ant mimic praying mantises from Crazy Bugs
Corey.
Pods
Yeah,
or something. Yeah, Corey.
Yeah.
And the babies are ant mimics.
Yes.
The adults
Yeah.
are just like they're small, cool mantises, but they're nothing like an ant anymore.
Yeah.
So I was like,
It's like that first instar, they move and behave like little ants or something like that.
It was really cool to watch. Yeah.
I bet.
So, all right, guys, that was it. So we did a good job. I think we covered everything we wanted to cover. I hope you learned something about netcasting spiders. Go watch a video. Look them up on YouTube because seeing them do their net thing is spiders are just so cool.
Yeah, well, I'll do an update here soon, but you can check us out on YouTube if you want to find any more information out on that. But dude, sounds like you need to do an episode on dirt.
I need to do a refresher on dirt. Yeah, I gotta call some people.
Yep.
So yeah, check out Ryan at Marshall Arachnids on YouTube, and then
we have a website.
Spiders After Sunset.
Yep. So Spiders After Sunset is our new live stream. We're gonna do weekly live streams on spider things. So
nice. Yep. What's your target time on those? Hour and a half?
However long it takes for me to get everything out that I have to say.
Okay.
As long as it's longer than 10 minutes. Yeah, that's all I care about.
Yeah, get the good content out there. You don't have to bring it down.
No, because it's a live stream and it's kind of like a talk thing, just like what we're doing. You know what I mean? It's just, you got to get it all out. So no time limit.
Good. And you're there for your ramblings and all of that. So
got to get it out, man.
Yeah. Taught my new therapist what rambling really is today.
Great. Good. Yeah. Well, they're paid to hear it, so.
I'll give you the clip. So have you ever had a therapist or a new psych doctor before? They have to ask you all these questions. And so mine was like, ask me all these questions that I won't get into now. But she was like, at one point, do you ever hear or see things that other people can't see or hear? And I said, well, are you counting ghosts? And she was like, what?
Got her.
She was like, and I just like was staring at her. And then I had a bunch of stories for her, but she was totally taken off guard. And then she asked me what all these things were around me because I was here. And I was like, oh, I have this pet and this pet and this pet. And then I have ants. And she was like, why would you not call an exterminator? Like, get rid of those ants. And I'm like, no, they're on purpose. Like,
the pet
have them in a tank. Yeah. She's like, show me that. As I can't just carry my computer over there.
Well, that's
I'll send you a video. So I sent her a video, but she's impressed, but not in the good way.
That's okay. So interested at the very least is all we can get sometimes. So
it's a first. It was a first. So
yeah.
But yeah, guys, get out there, breed what you're breeding, and distribute them however you see fit. So we'll save the natives so we can do our captive breds. So, all right, and we'll get some more dirt episodes. Not soon, but we're going to do a lot of turtles in the next couple of weeks. And then we're going to have the holidays. We're going to talk on the 10th. We're going to talk about turtles. On the next Tuesday after that, we're going to talk tortoises. So with some good guys. So, all right, we'll try to dial it in a little bit, but those are our subjects. But Ryan, thanks so much. And Jess, on the side, thanks so much.
Can you hear him? He says thank you.
For what?
Just being you.
For what? She had more input than either of us today.
I know. You like
Seriously.
really carried the stream, but she's over here eating chips, looking at it like, what are you talking about?
She's got a computer. Wait, what did you mention? Oh yeah, that's over here in Louisiana. They got that.
She never stops.
Just chiming in. Awesome. All right. I'll figure out what Jess is into, and I'll find a topic for her to come on and talk about at some point. It's going to happen. Don't tell her. We'll ambush her.
Did you win a 12 Days of Christmas gift?
No, never. I don't participate as often as I should because I have so much going on.
Yeah.
But I've never won. I've entered that's fine. I've entered 20 or 30 times and never won.
Yeah, Jess was doing it all night last night. I never win.
He said there's people that are like, I've been doing this for years and I've never won. Like, where's my prize? Like, think about it. It's like, what? I would blacklist them. But all right, let's get out of here.
Hold on real quick. Frank, my name?
Yeah.
Jess's name? Your name popped up as a winner the other day.
Was it me, Frank?
Yeah, who was it?
I gotta go back and watch that. I didn't.
Oh, just as you did, Josh.
Yeah.
What did I win?
A T-shirt, I think.
Yeah.
No,
Nice.
even Jess knows. There you go, buddy.
I was watching it and then I zoned out. I just had it on to show that he had viewers basically at that point.
Oh, well, there you
I
go.
did win. Holy shit, I did win. Look at that. I'm gonna have to
There we
reach
go.
out to Wally and see where I get my shirt. So awesome.
Cool.
Playing Lotto for 60 years. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. My daughter's making lottery lists now. She's excited to win a lot.
Awesome.
So, all right,
Good.
guys, go check out all those things. I'm going to put some links in the down there part later. I apologize for the goofy thumbnail on this video because I can't figure out how to switch it. So my computer's storing things to weird spaces and I can't find them once I store them. So
Oh,
I
well.
will go down there to the winner form, Frank. Thank you.
You are the winner, man.
Finally,
This is your time.
I won the shirt. I had to pick things that I could, like, I'm not picking animals anymore to win because I don't have any space or time.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
all right, folks, we're out.
Night, night.
And